Stand there to the side. Hello everyone and welcome to very sunny Southampton here at Barron's Manor Park Classics. Personally, I think we've got a great auction on show today. We've got a huge variety of stuff, back to some old pre-war British classics, all the way forward to some very uniquely spec German cars, which we'll be talking a bit more about later. But I know what you're all here for, so we're going to dive straight into the action. I'm going to head over to Tom. We're going to make a start on lot number 1.
Ready to go with this. We are back today, ladies and gentlemen, at Manor Park Classics down south in Southampton. Today, please make sure you're aware of our terms and conditions on the cars. The buyer's premium today is 12.5% plus VAT and subject to a minimum of £600 plus VAT. Also on the bikes, we got 15% plus VAT, minimum of £300 plus VAT as well. Provisional bidding today, ladies and gentlemen. We will be selling the cars. If the hammer does not go down, we sell it provisionally. We go over to the sales team, we speak to the vendors, and we try and get a deal through for you. Also, toilet and beverages is a very hot day today. If you need a drink, there's plenty provided down below. The toilets are also there, so feel free to use them as you wish. We are also live on YouTube and the Manor Park Classics website today. There is a camera that walks around, so just be aware of that if you would. Also, please don't lean and stand onto the vehicles because they will transfer transfer from one owner to another owner as the sale processes. So just please treat them as if they were your own. And also, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, follow us on all social medias. If you Google or Manor Park Classics, or you're on your Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, we do it all. So we get all of the cars in nice and early so you can have a good look at them, get lots of pictures, get lots of things so for advertising and create social media videos just to help you get your car sold. So if you are going to sell a car in the next few months and you wish to get in touch, the earlier you do it, the better for everyone, because we can get all these great videos out there. Without further ado then, ladies and gentlemen, let's just start with today's auction. We don't hang around. Lot number 101, 1955 is the year. We're on to this Wolseley 444 here. No reserve car today. Look at this, starting off with a bang then. Anyone got £500 to start on the Wolseley here? 500 to start me off today. Anyone interested to kick it off? £500 to start. How about £250 to kick me off today then? 250 for a Wolseley. Start me off. Thank you online. Online bidder, you're in. At £250. We're going 50s on this one. It's the first lot of the day. At £250 is bid. At 250, 250. At 250, take 3 if you're coming in. At £250, we are bid now at 250. Cheap little car here. Make no mistake when bidding at 250. It's here to be sold today, so the hammer is straight up at 250. Would anyone like 3? 300. Gentleman's bid. Thank you, sir. At £300. At 300, 300. Would anyone like another 50? Online, you coming back for one more. At £300 is the bid now at 3. At 300, 300, 300. Are we all finished and done here? Gentleman's bid in the middle of the room at £300. At 300, 300. I'll count it down. Make no mistake. Online bidders or anyone else, if you want to come in, the hammer's up. 350's back in online. At 350's bid. At 350, 350. At £350, take 4 if you wish to go again. At £350 is the bid now at 350. Would you like to come back in for one more, or anywhere else online? Coming in for again. 400, thank you. Gentleman's back in now at 4. At 400, we're bid. Wolseley here at £400 is the bid now at 4. At 400, 400 online, it's your turn. Would you like to go again? At £400 is the bid now at 4. Finished and done then. Hammers up at 400, 400. And 50's back in online. At 450's bid. At 450, Norfolk bidder at the minute. At £450 with the online bid. At 450, 450, make it 5 if you're coming back in. At £450, are we finished? Are we done? At 450, 450. Last chance in fair warning again, then. We'll count it down with the online bidder this time. At 450 is bid then once. At 450, do you want one more, sir? At 450 is bid twice. Shakes their head, and we sell this time, and away it goes. Online bid at £450. Sold it your way. 678 takes it. 678. Sold your way at £450, thanking you. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 2 today. Lot number 2 is this 2008 Mercedes. There we go on this one. Low mileage example, it says here then. Comes with a 66,624 on the last MOT as well. Where are we going to go on this one? Someone start me off. Who's got £1,000? Anyone interested here? £1,000 to start me off. It is no reserve today. I'm going to go in with my commission bid at 250, 300, 354. At £400 we start. Say 50 for one more. At 400's bid. At 400, 500 coming in, will you? At 400 a bid. 450, 5's my bid here. With me now. My commission bidder at 5. 550, gentleman's bid, not you online. Too slow online bidder. Took the room bidder first. That's 550. Just go back one and press the floor button if we can. There we go. 550, gentleman's bid. Your bid, sir. I won't take it again. Online, would you like 6? At 550's bid. 600. New gentleman this time. At £600. 650's back in. At 650, 650. Left-handed. Before you again, Molly. Gentleman was in at 650. Would you like 7, sir? 7's bid. 750 straight away. At 750, left-handed. 800's in online. Beating both of you now at £800. Take 50 again. 850, thank you, sir. 850, before you online, I heard the ding. At 850, 9's back in. Thank you, online bidders, at £900. Say 50 again. At 900, 900, the bid is online, 950, gentleman's bid. At 950 now. At 950, 950, 1,000's bid. Online bidder at 1,000. We'll stay in the 50s for you. At £1,000. 1,050's bid. Not you, Molly. At 1,050, 1,100's in online. At 1,100, 1,100. 1,150 is between the online bidders now. At £1,150 we're bid. And 12. Keep going online bidders. At 1,200, 1,200. Take 50 if you wish to go again. At £1,200, the bid is here online. I'll put the hammer up. It's going to sell today. 1,250's bid. At 1,250, 1,250. At 1,250 and 13 bid. At 1,300, 1,300. 1,350. New bidder in the room. At 1,350. At 1350, 1350. On the SLK 200 here at 14's bid online at 1400. Would you like another 50, sir? 1450, thank you. At 1450's bid. At 1450, 1450. And 1500 back in now online bidder at 15. Can I say 1600, sir? 1550, okay, I tried it. At 1550's bid. 1600's bid. 50? 50. 1650. 1650, gentlemen's bid here in the room at £1,650 per bid. Say 17 if you're coming back in. Online bidders in now at 17 and 50 straight away. Thank you for your fast bids. At 1750, 1750. Would you like to go 18 online? Make it nice and quick if you do. 18 you do. 1850. 1850 it goes on. At 1850 back to the room at £1,850 is bid. Say 19 if you're coming back in now online bidder. 1900 you do. Somewhere in the United Kingdom. 1950 we go again. At 1950, 1950. 2000's bid. Can I say 2-1 now, sir? It's going to be a long day. 2-1, thank you. At 2-1, your turn online. Would you like 2-2? At 2-2, they do. At 2002, 2-3. At 2003's the bid. At 2000, 2003, say 2-4 for one more online bidder. At 2003, are you finished and done? Hammers up, I'm going to sell now. At 2,300, if we're finished and done, I'm counting it down once, twice. Finished and done, and it sells this time on with you, sir, at £2,300. Your bid, 363. Thanking you. 363 takes that one at £2,300. Thanking you very much. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 103 this time then. Lot number 103. This time we have the 1969. We have this lovely little Morris Mini Moke. Have a good look here on the Mini Moke then. Starting me off. I got commission bids on my book. I'll go in at 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6. And I'd like to say 250 next if we can. At £6,000 is bid. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. At 6,000, 250 if you're coming in anywhere else. On the Mini Moke at 6,000, 6,250, 6.5's my bid. At 6,005, say 750 for one more. At 6,757. I'm out now, online bidders, and you're in. At 7,000, 7,000. Go 250 again. We're currently in Burton-on-Trent at the minute. 7,250's bid. Welcome to you in Wiltshire. You're in the lead now. At 7,250's bid. At 7,250, 7,250. At 7,250. I'll tell you what, Molly, I'll go 7.3 and then we'll go 7.4. At 7,250's bid. Would you like the 50 to take it back in? Coming in for one more. At 7,250 is the bid now at 7,250. 7.3, now 7.4 if we can. At 7,003, new bidder this time in London, but you're out again. Wiltshire's back, 7.4. At 7,004 is the bid. At 7.4, 7.4, would you like to go again? At £7,400 is the bid now at 7.4. We finished and done. Currently with the Wiltshire bidder online here at 7,400. Coming back in for one more at 7,004. 7.5 you do. Thank you, London bidder. You're back at 7,005. At 7.5 and 7.6. Wiltshire, you're back in again at 7,006. Thanking you, online bidders here at 7,006. Say 7.7 if you wish to go again at 7,006. At 7.7's the bid. At 7.7. At 7,007, 7.8's the bid now at 7,008. Go one more again online. At 7,008 is the bid now and 7.9. Thanking you. At 7,009 is bid. At 7.9, 7.9 and 8,000, 8,000 bid at £8,000. We are on outright sale and it sells today. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen. Hammers up now at 8,000. We'll stay in the hundreds. Are we finished and done? 8.1 we're not. London's back at 8,001. At 8.1 and 8.2. At 8,200 a bit now, 8,002. Make it nice and quick online. Don't miss out. At 8,002, 8.3. Thanking you. At 8,003. Your turn, underbidder. Would you like to go again? At 8,003 and 8.4. 8.4 is the bid. At £8,400 with our Wiltshire bidder at the minute. At 8,004. At 8,000, 8,400. Hammers up. 8.5 back in at 8,005. Say 8.6 for one more if you wish to go again. At 8,005, are we finished and done with the online bidding? At 8,005 and 8.6 is back. At 8,006, didn't want to let it go. At 8,006, 8.7 straight away. Thanking you, online bidders here at 8,007. At 8.7 is the bid with you online at 8,700. Are we all finished? Are we all done? Hammers up and we're selling. So make no mistake, once, twice, finished and done at £8,700 it goes. Sold with the London bidder at £8,700. 21185 takes that one. Thank you very much, online bidders, to both of you there. Lot number 104, the Cycle Master. sold away already prior to auction. Lot number 105, the 2003 Maserati, sold away before the auction, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm just going to quickly throw this out there. Three-stage sales process here at Manor Park. Your car is always on sale from the moment it arrives, and there were some examples of it there. Lot number 106, the first motorbike in today's sale is this year, 2000. It's the Kawasaki Ninja. It's the ZX6RJ1. Nice looking bike this is. Where are we going to go on this one? Someone start me off. Who's got £500 to start? Cheap little Ninja this is. £500 to get it going today. 500 surely. Coming in for 500. 500 to kick it off. 5 bid online. Thank you, online bidder. Go in hundreds on this one. We'll sell it to the nearest 100 today. At 500 a bid. Say 6 if you're coming in. At 500, 500 is the bid now at 5. At £500 is bidding away with the online bidder here. At 500, 6 is bid. At £600. At 600 a bid now 6. At 600, 600. Would anyone like 7 now? Sneaking in for another bid. 7 you do. Thank you, online bidder. You're in the lead now at 7. Take 8 if you're coming back in. At 700, 700 with the online bid here. At £700. Are we finished? Are we done? Is your last chance. And fair warning then, with the online bidder here at the minute, at £700, I will submit the bid today, so make no mistake. At 700 once. At 700 twice. Finishing done at £700. That is the provisional there with you, online bidder at £700. Thank you very much to bidder number 21110. Moving down the list, we go to lot number 107. 107 is this 1968 Rover P6, and it looks absolutely amazing, and Lewis is going to tell you all about it.
Thank you very much, Tom, and I couldn't agree more. Personally, I absolutely love an old Rover, and this is a great example of one. But they say half the story when it comes to a car is the engine, and the story behind the engine in this one is quite interesting. This 3.5-litre engine originally started life as a Buick engine, but was bought off of Rover. They got the rights, tinkered with it a bit, and it found a new home inside this, paired up with that lovely automatic gearbox. And these P6s were actually really advanced for the time. You're talking disc brakes all round. You've got this one, original right-hand drive car. It's got the Lucas Square 8 fog lamps, the Dion rear axle, and these absolutely glide along. These were the pinnacle of British executive saloons. I mean, these were the cars of government at the time. The people in power were chauffeured around in one of these. And this one, a great example, UK home market car. It's got the heritage certificate. It's got a massive stack of invoices and history with it. I mean, the thing I love, it's in a custom folder where the title's put on it, a custom folder in it. Looks absolutely gorgeous, very intensive. Again, plenty of stuff from the owners club. Went over to Guernsey in 2022, was taken over on a few holidays for shows to be shown off, because, I mean, look at it. You get a car like this, you want to show it off. It is in very, very nice condition, very comfortable place to be, very comfortable place to glide around, £5,000 to £7,000. I think there's going to be a lot of interest in this, but to put heed to my words, we'll hand back over to you, Tom.
Thank you, Lewis. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, 1968 are over P6 here. I've got commission bids on this one. You're in at 2. I'm going to go 3, 4, 5, 5, 5.5, 6, £6,500, and I'll take 7 next. At 6,005 is bid, and we're straight in the market, so make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen. At 6,005. At 6,000, 6,500 is bid. Would you like to go 7? At 6,005 is the bid now at 6,005. At 6,000, 6,500 here. I'll tell you what, I'll take 7,000's bid. At 7,000, 7,000, I'm going to have to go 7.2, and I'll take 7.4 next. At 7,002 with my commission interest. At 7,002, come in for one more online bidder if you wish to go again. At 7,002 is bid. At £7,200 on the book with me, make no mistake. At 7,002. At 7.2, 7.2, 7.2. At 7,200 we're bid. It's going to sell today then. Are we finished and done? Online bidder, would you like to come in for one more? It's your last chance in fair warning. It's going to go at 7,002. At 7,000, 7,200 once. At 7,200 twice. Finishing done then and selling this time with my commission interest here at 7,200 all finished and done. Sold at 7,002. To bidder number 1001. Moving down the list we go, ladies and gentlemen. Lot number 108. Lot number 108, we have this Mercedes-Benz, another SL 500 in today's sale. Nice little silver one this is. There we go. Sought after model indeed. I got commission bids on my book. I'm going to start off with me at £500 and we'll go 6 next. At 500's bid. On the book with me here at £500. Say 6 if you're coming in. At 500's a bid. At 500, 500, cheap little car here at just 500, 6's bid, 7's bid. 700 now. At £700 back to my bid. 800 and 900 back to me. At 900, 900, 900, go 1,000 for one more. At £900 we're bid. At 900, 900, 1,000's bid. 1,100 back to me though. At £1,100 is the bid now at 11. At 1,100, 1,100, would you like to go 12 online bidder? At £1,100 is the bid. At 1,100, 1,100. Would anyone else like to have a go here? At £1,100, 12, thanking you. At 1,200, but I've got 13 on the book. At 1,300, 1,300 is going to sell today, so make no mistake, 14's bid, 15 back to me. At 1,500, 1,500. At 1,500's bid. At 1,500, 1,500, would you like to go again? At £1,500, are we finished and done? At 1,500, 16. I'm going to have to go 17 and 1,800. 1,900, one more. If that doesn't give the game away, I don't know what does. At £1,800 is bid. At 1,800, 1,800. Are we finishing done? Online bidder, would you like to go again? Make no mistake, if you're coming back in, it's now or never. At £1,800, it's selling. At 1,800, 1,800 once. 1,800 twice. All finished, all done, and this time and away at £1,800 it sells. Sold at 18. Thank you to my commission bidder, which was 3017. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 109, 2008 Aston Martin DB9. It's the Le Mans DB9, this one. Low mileage as well. It's a limited edition, one of 69, and it's number 15, I believe, as well. There we go. Where are we going to go on this one? I've got commission bids. I'm going to go straight in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, £11,000 is the starting price here. 11,000, say 12 if you're coming in. At 11,000, 12, and 13 back to me at £13,000. At 13,000, 13,000, go 14, coming back in for one more. At just £13,000, DB9 Le Mans edition here. It looks stunning indeed. At 13, £14,000 has been my commission interest is out. I'll take 14,500 if anyone else wants to come in. At 14,000. At 14,000 pounds is the bid now at 14, coming back in for one more 5. At 14,000, 14,000, are we finishing done here? It's with the online bidder at £14,000. Say 500 if you're coming back in now. At 14,000 is bid. What little money for what a big car. At £14,000, are we sure? Are we done? 14,500 new bidder this time at 14,500. At 14,500, 14,500. Amongst the two of you online at the minute at 14,500. Say 15 if you're coming back in anywhere else. At 14,500. At 14,500, 14,500, would you like to go 15 now? At 14,500, are we finishing done here? Aston Martin DB9 at 14,500 is bid. At 14,500. At 14,500, 14,500, all finishing done then. I will submit the bid today. I'm going to count it down. At 14,500 once. At 14,500 twice. All finishing done with the online bidder here at 14,500. Provisionally online with you at 14,500. And you are 739. Moving down we go to lot number 110 is the 1973 is Jaguar XJ12. Nice looking XJ12 this one is there. We're going displaying some 50,000 miles on the clock as well. Nothing on my book on this one. Where we to? Online bidder, are you in at 2,000? Thank you. I'll take 2,500 next. We're going 500s for the minute. At £2,000. Go 2,500 if you're coming in. Nice looking Jag this is at just £2,000. Say 2,500 for one more on the XJ. At 2,000 is bid. At 2,005. Thank you, online bidder. At 2,005. 3 if you're coming back in for one more. At 2,005. At 2,000, 2,005 is the bid now at 2,005. Would anyone else like to come back in for 3? I'll tell you what, we'll go 250. Would you like the quarter bike? At 2,005. Can I have 750 next? At 2,005 is bid. Coming back in. Would anyone like a quarter bike? 2,750 you do. Thank you, online bidder. It's with you currently in Norfolk. 3,000's bid. We'll stay in the quarters for you at £3,000. Currently off to Brighton it goes. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,250's bid. At 3,250, say 3,500 for one more. Online, would you like to go again? Somewhere in the United Kingdom is currently with you at £3,250. At 3,250, would you like to go again for one more? Are we finished and done? There's a few of you still hovering at home. Coming back in for 3,500. At 3,250 is bid. At 3,250, are we finished? Are we done? I'll tell you what, I'll go 3-3 next, and we'll go in hundreds to see if there's any more. Coming back in for the 50 bite. At 3,250, are we finishing done? Yes? Thank you, sir. 3-3, gentleman's bid in the room. Say 3-4 next if you're coming back in now online. We'll go in hundreds. At 3,004. At 3,000, 3,004 is bid. Would you like to go 3-5 anywhere else? At 3,004. At 3,000, 3,004 is bid. With the online bidder here at 3,004. Say 3-5 if you're coming back in. Have a good think. At 3,004. At 3,000, 3,004 is the bid now at 3,004. 3-5. Thank you, sir. At 3,005. Gentleman's back in. Say 3-6 if you're coming back in online. At 3,005. At 3,000, 3,005 is the bid now at 3,005. Are we all finished? Are we all done? Last chance in fair warning. I'm going to submit the bid with the gentleman here. 3-6. 3-6 is bid. Almost had it. At 3,006. At 3,000, 3,006. At 3,006, would you like 3-7? Would you like to go again? At 3,006. 50? All right. Thank you very much. 3,650. Gentleman's back in. We're running in the 50s. Make it nice and quick online if you're going to bid again. At 3,650 is bid. At 3,650 to bid now. 3,650. At 3,650 is bid. At 3,650. I'm going to count it down online. At 3,650 once. At 3,650 twice. All finished and done. Gentleman's bid at £3,650. Provisionally with you. Oh, I'm going to take it. Was that a bid? I think they bid then. Online, go 3-7 if you're coming back in. It's not on sale yet. Just ask for 50 money. You did bid. It's not on sale. If you bid, you got 3, 2, 1. Provisionally with you, sir. 3,650. What was your paddle number? 350. Thank you. That is a provisional bid. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 111, 2001 BMW Z3. It's the 2.2i, this one there. Nice looking car. This is no reserve. I got several bids. I'm going to go £1,200 with my commission bids at 1,002. Say 1-4 if you're coming in. At 1,002's bid. At 1,200 is bid now at 1,002. On the Z3 here, it's going to sell today. At 1,002, say 1,004 if you're coming in. At 1,200 is the bid now at 1,002. I'll take 1,300 if it helps anyone out. At £1,200 is bid. At 1,200, 1,200, 1,200. On the Z3 here at just £1,200. Are we sure? At 1,200's bid. Say 13 for one more. At 1,200, 1,200, 1,200. Are we finished and done? The last chance in fair warning. This time in a way. 13's bid. 14's back to me, sir. 15. I got 16. I got 16, 17. I got 18. Would you like 19? 1,900. You're in and I'm out. Thank you. Gentleman's bid at £1,900. Say 2,000 if anyone else wishes to come in now. At 1,900, 1,900. Gentleman's bid at £1,900. We're going to sell it then. If we're finished and done, it's your last chance in fair warning. At 1,900 once. At 1,900 twice. Finished and done at £1,900. Your bid, sir. Thank you. 363 takes that one. 363. Lot number 112, 1987 Ford Escort RS Turbo, another one that's already sold. Moving down we go, lot number 113 this time, another one of today's bikes. There we go, it's the 1966, it's the Norton N15 CS. Nice looking Norton this is. I'm straight in at 1,000, 11, 12, 13, 14 and £1,500 we start. At 1,500, 1,500. At £1,500 is bid, say 16 if you're coming in. At 1,500, 1,500. On the Norton here at 1,500, 16, 17, 1,700. I got 1,800, 1,900 and 2,000's bid. At 2,000 now. At 2,000's the bid. Say 2-1 if you're coming back in. 2-1 you do. At 2,001, I'm out and you're in now online. At 2,001, you're in the lead. At 2-1, say 2-2 if you're coming back in for another one. At 2,001 is bid. At 2,000, 2001, 2-2, thanking you. At 2002, make your bids nice and quick online. We're in little increments, a long way to climb. At 2002, say 2-3 for one more. We finished and done. At 2003, thanking you. At 2,300 is bid. At 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, lovely example of a Norton this is. At just £2,300. At 2-3 is the bid. At 2,000, 2003, 2-4, thank you for coming back in now. At 2004, you're in the lead. At 2004. At 2,000, 2004, say 2-5 for one more. We finished and done. 2-5, we're not. Thanking you online bidders there. At 2005, would you like to go 2-6? At 2005 is the bid now. At 2005, would you like to go again? It's your last chance in fair warning if you're coming back in for one more. At 2005. At 2,000, 2,500 is the bid then once. At 2,500 is the bid then twice. All finished and done. Online bid with you at £2,500. That is your bid there. Online bidder provisionally at £2,500. Thanking you very much. 2,500. Moving on, down we go. Lot number 114. Have a good look here, ladies and gentlemen. 1975. It's the Vauxhall Viva. What a great looking Vauxhall this is. Great looking coupe indeed. Where are we going to go on this one? Where are we going to go? Start me off. Let's look who I got on the book. I'm straight in at 5, 5.5, £6,000. Say 6.5 next. At 6,000's bid. At 6,000's the bid now at 6. Coming in for 5 on the Vauxhall Viva here at £6,000. Say 500 for one more. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. At £6,000 is the bid now at 6. Are we finishing done at just £6,000? At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. At £6,000, I'm going to count it down. 6.5, is that coming in? 6,005 you do. I'm out now. You're in online. I'll take the call to bites. 250 if anyone wants. At 6,005. At 6,000, 6,500 with the online bidder here at 6,005. Would anyone else like to have another go? At 6,500, are we finished? Are we done? At 6,000, 6,005. Once, twice, finished and done then with the online bidder this time at £6,500. That is a provisionally with you at £6,500. Thank you there to the online bidder at 6,005 provisionally. Moving on to lot number 115, 1972 Ford Capri. It's the Mark 1 and over to you, Lewis.
Thank you very much, Tom. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the evolution of the Capri. Now, I don't mean that modern SUV thing that only shares the name with the Capri. I'm talking about across the generations, because luckily, right here, we've got this lovely Mark 1 and this Mark 3 here. And the difference that's happened just within the generations, already such a distinctive change in look. But we're here to talk about this red one, 1972, and a very unusual one, because this is a 2000 V4 engined Capri. Obviously, some of them were offered with V6s, but the more common man one at the time was this V4. But strangely enough, now the V4s are rarer because a lot of them were used, abused, and used for what they were built for, whereas this one has been immaculately preserved. I mean, recently, it's had £5,000 spent on the paintwork alone. Built at Halewood for the UK market, it's done approximately 52,000 miles. It has had a clock change, but going through the history, you can see where the change has occurred because it's had a Mark III clock fitted. It's had a recent clutch and ignition overhaul. It was driven to the auction, runs absolutely fantastically. And again, just the classic kind of look to it. All the bits of chrome that follow around, the louvres at the back, a word I do love, louvres. And again, the red just pops. Overall, a very nicely maintained car at £16,000 to £19,000. Overall, right where the Capri started. And a great example of an early one. But we'll find out what it's worth. I'll head on over to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Lewis. Right then, let's have a look at this one. A couple of commission bids on the book with me. Not that high. I'm going to go straight in. 6, 7, 8, 9, and £10,000 we start. At 10,000, say 11 next. At 10,000's bid. At just £10,000 on the lovely little Capri here. At 10,000. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. I thought I heard a ding then. At 10,000's bid. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Would anyone else like to come in? I'll take 10, 5 and £11,000. 11,000. We'll say 11,500 next if anyone wishes to go again. At £11,000 with the online bidder here. At 11,000, 11,000. Would anyone else like another 5? At £11,000 is the bid now. 11,000 we are bid. At 11,000, 11,000. At £11,000 is the bid now at 11. At 11,000, 11,000. Would you like to go 5? 11,500 you do. At 11,005. At 11,000, 11,005. Say 12 for one more here on the Capri. At just 11,500 is the bid now at 11,005. At 11,500, 11,500. At 11,500 is the bid. Are we finished and done? At 11,005. Say 12 if you wish to go again. At just £11,500. Make no mistake, I will submit the bid today at 11,005. Would anyone else like to have another go here? At 11,500 once. At 11,000, 11,500 twice. All finished and done then at 11,500. That's your bid, provisionally on line 21110. Moving down the list, we go to lot number 116. 2001 is the Mercedes-Benz. It's the SLK 32 AMG here. No reserve car again today. I'm going to go straight in at just £1,000. 1,000's bid with me here, Molly. Say 1,200 next if we can. At £1,000, go 1,200 if anyone else wishes to have a bid. 1,200, 1,400's bid. At 1400, 1400, 1600, 1800, 1800 pounds. Go 2000 if you're coming back in. 2 you do. 2002's my bid here anyway. At 2004, 26 is with me. At 2006, a 28 online. At 2006 or anywhere else. At 2600 with my commission bid here. At 2006, take 28 if anyone else wishes to have another go. At 2006. At 2008, 3,000 pounds were bid. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. At 3,000 pounds is the bid. 3-2 online bidder. You're in and I'm out. At 3,000, just undo it one, Molly. They're in online at 3,002. Your bid online at 3,200 pounds. Say 3-4 anywhere else. At 3,002. My commission interest is out. Would anyone else like to have a go? I'll tell you what, I'll take 3-3 if it helps anyone out. But at 3,200 pounds, it's going to sell. At 3,002. At 3,002, are we all finished? Are we all done? Last chance, fair warning then. Hammers up this time and away at 3,200 pounds and selling at 3,002. Sold with you at 3,200 pounds to the online bidder there. And you're at 16528. 16528. Moving down we go, lot number 117, Jaguar E-Type here, lovely one there, sat just below me there. I'm straight in at 7,005, say 8 next. At 7,500 is bid. At 7,005. At 7,000, 7,500 were bid. At 7,005 coming in for 8. At 7,005 and 8,000, you're in online, and I'm out already, believe it or not. At 8,000 pounds is your bid in the West Midlands. At 8,005. At 8,500's bid. At 8,005, say 9 for one more. At 8,500 is the bidding, 9 if you're coming in. At 9,000 pounds, 9,500, it goes on. At 9,005, welcome Staffordshire, you're in. And 10,000 pounds, Cheshire bidder. At 10,005, at 10,000, 10,005. There's loads of you online on this one. Keep bidding, 11, 11,500's bid. Keep going online bidders, 11,005. And 12,000 back in now, 12,005. At 12,005 is bid, and 13,000 pounds now. At 13,000, 13,000. At 13,005, at 13,500, 13,500, at 13,500 is the bid now with you online. It's currently in Staffordshire at 13,500 and 14,000 pounds. West Midlands back in at 14,000's bid. At 14,000, 14,000. Lovely little E-Type here. 2 plus 2 at just 14,000 pounds. Make no mistake when bidding. 14,500. Cheap little motor still here at just 14,500. Say 15 for one more. Surely there's one more online. You've come this far. At 14,500. Staffordshire bidder. At 14,500. I'll tell you what. I'll take the quarter bite. How's that for a deal? At 14,500. 14,750. Thank you, West Midlands. At 14,750, you're back in. At 14,750, 14,750. At 14,750, 14,750. Are we finished and done? At just 14,750 is the bid now at 14,750. Say 15 for one more, surely. At 14,750 is the bid now at 14,750. At 14,750, 14,750, and on outright on sale at 14,750. Thank you. At 14,750. I'm going to sell to underbidder. It's your last chance in fair warning. Once, twice, finished and done. This time, it's going and gone at £14,750. Thanking you to bidder number 6037. 6037. Good battle there online. Thank you to the underbidder as well. Moving on to lot number 118, 1997 Alfa Romeo Spider. I love this one as well. Looks absolutely great there. Look at it there. It looks gorgeous in the red as well. What have we got on this one? Let's go straight in at 2, 2.5, 3, £3,500. I'm going to start at 3,005. At 3,005 is the bid. At 3,000, 3,005. Say 4 if you're coming in. At 4,000, thank you, online bidder. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. 5's my bid. At 4,005. With me here at 4,005. Just knock it on one money. At 4,005. Thank you. At 4,000, 4,005. Say 5 to come back in. At 4,005 is the bid. Lovely little Spider here at just 4,005 and 5,000 now. I'm out and you're in online at £5,000. We'll go in the quarters now if it helps anyone out. Would anyone like 250 on this one? It's at £5,000 with the online bid. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. Would anyone else like to have another go? At just £5,000 on the Alfa Romeo Spider then. At just £5,000, I will submit the bid today, so make no mistake. At 5,000, 5,000, are we finished? At 5,000, are we done? 5,250, we're not. 5,500, new bidder. Welcome to you in Bristol there as well. At 5,005. At 5,005. At 5,750, back in. Cheshire bidder this time. At 5,750, would you like to go 6,000 in Bristol? Coming back in. At 5,750, we're bid. Last chance in fair warning if you wish to go again. At 5,750 once. At 5,756. 6,000's bid. Bristol bid, are you back? At £6,000. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. I'd like to see you driving around in it as well. At 6,250, the bid's against you. At 6,250, new bidder this time in Devon. At £6,250 is the bid. At 6,250, 6,250, you coming back in, either Cheshire or Bristol. Would you like to go again? At 6,250, or anyone else in the room like to have a go? At 6,250, if we're finished and done, I'm going to count it down, so make no mistake here. At 6,250, the bid is here online, with you currently in Devon at 6,250 once. At 6,250 twice, all finished and done at 6,250 with you in Devon at 6,250. Provisionally there at £6,250. That is a provisional bid. 221120. Moving on down we go to lot number 119 this time, 1983. It's a Ford Capri S, this one. Nice looking Capri. I'm straight in at £2,500 and £3,000. We start on the Capri at 3,000's bid. At £3,000, go 3,500 if you're coming in. At just 3,000's the bid. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. 3,500, you're in. Thanking you. Online bidder there. At 3,500. I'm going to have to go 3,750 with me. At 3,750 is bid. At 3,750, 3,750. Would anyone else like to go for? At 3,750 is the bid now at 3,750. At 3,750, 3,750. Are we finished and done? 4 you do. Thank you, online bidder. I'm out now. You're in at £4,000. Anyone else for another 250 anywhere else? At 4,000's bid. At 4,250, you're back in. At 4,250 is the bid now. At 4,250, we're bid. At 4,250 the bid. Would you like to go 4,500? At £4,250 is the bid now. At 4,250, 4,500 if you're coming back in. It's your last chance in fair warning, so make no mistake. At 4,250 once. At 4,250 twice. All finished, all done at £4,250. That's your bid there, online bidder, at 4,250. Again, it is a provisional bid. We'll have to make that phone call and we'll get in touch with you as soon as possible. Moving on to lot number 120. Lot number 120, 1995. It's the BMW 138i, the auto convertible. Great looking one this is. It's got the electric soft top as well, and to be sold today with no reserve. It must go, and I'm straight in at £500. At 500's bid. Say 600 if you're coming in. At 5's the bid. Lovely little BMW here at just £500. At 500, 500, no reserve, it must go. At £500, it's going to sell, so make no mistake. At 500, 500, would you like to go 6 anywhere else? At just £500 is bid. At 500, 500, are we finished and done? I will sell it today, make no mistake, at 500 bid. 600 bid now, 600, 7's back to me though, unfortunately. Go 8 if you're coming back in. 8 you do. I'm going to go 900 and I'm going to go 1,000. I need to see 1,100 next. £1,000 bid with me on the book. At 1,000's bid. Say 1,100 if anyone else wants to have a go. At £1,000. At 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Hammers up this time and away. At £1,000, I'm going to sell it, so make no mistake. Are we all finished? Are we all done? Last chance, fair warning, once, twice, finishing done, and selling this time at £1,000. Sold at £1,000, thank you. That is 3011 who left that bid. Moving on to lot number 121, 1979. It's the Ford Cortina this time. It's the 2.3 GL estate as well. Nice looking estate, this one there. We're going to go on this one, starting straight in at just 2,000 with me, at £2,000. At 2,000, 2,000. At 2,000's the bid. I'll say 2,500 next if you're coming in. 2,005. At 2,005, thank you online. At 2,005, 3,000's bid. At 3,000 now, back to my bidder here at £3,000. Would you like to go again? At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. At £3,000, 3,500. You're in and I'm out. I'll take the 750 now, Molly. At 3,005, who wants to call to buy? We're online here at 3,005, coming in for a quarter. At 3,000, 3,005, are we finished and done? Would anyone else like to have a go here? At 3,005. At 3,000, 3,005. If we're finishing done, it's your last chance in fair warning. Don't miss out now at just 3,500 once, 3,500 twice, all finishing done at 3,500. Online bidder at 3,500, provisionally with you there as a provisional bid, £3,500. Thank you very much online. Moving on to 122, lot 122. Another one of my favorites in today's sale is this 1988. It's the Ford Sierra RS Cosworth, the turbocharged fast forward pedigree. Where are we going to go on this one? Oh, I got several commission bids. I'm going to go 10, 11, 12, and £13,000. At 13,000, say 14 if you're coming in for the Cosworth. At just £13,000, little money here at just 13,000's bid. At 13,000, 13,000. Would anyone else like to go 14? At £13,000 is the bid now at 13. 14 you do. Thank you, online bidder there at £14,000. At 14,000, 14,000. At 14,000, 14, say 15 for one more. At 14 and 15,000 you do. At 15,000, 16's bid. At 16,000 now. At £16,000. Catch them if you can. At 16,000's the bid. At 16, I'll take 16,500 if it helps any of the underbidders out. There's a few of you waiting. At £16,000. At 16,000, 16,000. Would anyone else like another 5 now? At £16,000 is the bid. 16,500 you do. Thank you, online bidder, you're in. At 16,500. At 16,500, 16,500. This is a cheap car. This is at just 16,500. Say 17 for one more. Are we finished and done? 17 we're not. Thanking you, online bidders here. At 17,000, would you like to go 5 again? At 17,000, 17,000. At 17,500 you do. Thanking you at 17,500. At 17,500, 17,500. Coming back in for the 18 now. At 17,500. Are you finished and done? At 17,500. At £17,500 is bid with you online currently at 17,500. Are we finished? Are we done? Last chance. Fair warning then. With the online bidder here, I'm going to count you down at 17,500 once, at 17,500 twice, all finished and done at £17,500. Provisionally 21223 takes that one. 21223. That is a provisional bid. We will be very quickly in touch with the vendor online, and we'll be back in touch with you. Thank you for bidding. Moving on to lot number 123, 2018. It's the Royal Bullet Enfield, and I'm going to go over to Lewis, who I believe is right below.
Thank you very much, Tom. Now, this is a very special little bike, and one I'm actually rather fond of. This is a 2018 Royal Enfield Bullet Classic Pegasus Edition. Now, the Pegasus Edition, this is inspired by the Flying Flea dispatch bikes that were used during World War II. Basically, it was a little 50cc bike that they would paradrop to use as messenger bikes during the war. It's the kind of thing that if they did today would probably be sponsored by Red Bull. But the special bit about this bike isn't the stickers on it, it isn't even the panniers at the back, or even how nice a condition it is. It's the fact that this bike is only displaying 14 miles. And that's probably most of that, it being pushed around. It was bought from new by a gentleman over in Guernsey. He kept it into storage, didn't really use it at all, and now it's come back fresh and ready almost 8 years later. It is completely ready to go. There's the original bill of sale, there's the original toolkit. It is essentially a showroom condition bike. And these are brilliant bikes. They're the Classic 500 that's based on the Bullet with some modern touches. So you get your electronic ignition, you get a little creature comforts that you don't get in the Bullet design that goes all the way back, I believe, to the early 1930s. It's a very, very reliable, simple package. I mean, that 500cc engine has so much torque. It will pull up any hill. It'll climb any slope. They're just really reliable, really simple. And it just looks great like this. I mean, you could channel your inner Steve McQueen in this thing with an estimate of £3,500 to £4,500 for what is basically a brand new bike. I think that's a very interesting proposition indeed. But I'll head back over to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Lewis. All right, then, the Royal Enfield, the Bullet, the classic bike here. I'm going to go straight. Well, you've gone in online at £1,000. Welcome to you in Shropshire. You're in at 1,000. I'm going to go 1,200, 1,400, 1,600, 1,800, 2,000, 2,002. I'll take 2,400 if anyone wants to come in now. At 2,002, 2,400 you do. I've got 2,600. At 2,006 is bid. At 2006 with me on the book here. Go one more online if you wish to come back in. At 2008, you're in now and I'm out. Thank you, online bidder. At 2008 is bid. At 2,800, we're currently in the West Midlands at 2008. I'll take 3 if anyone wishes to come in. At 3,000 you do. Shropshire bidder now. At 3,002, back to the West Midlands at 3,002. At 3,232, 32. At 3,200 is the bid. At 3,002, we're bid now at 3,004. Thanking you at 3,004. At 3,006. It is there anyway. At 3,006 is bid. At 3,006. Say 3,700 next. We're on sale, ladies and gentlemen. If that sharpens your pencils, at 3,600 with you in the West Midlands. At 3,006. At £3,600 is the bid now at 3,006. Would you like to go 3,700 anywhere else? Are we finished? Are we done? At 3,600, hammers up for the first time on this one now. At 3,600 once. At 3,000, 3,600 twice with you then in the West Midlands and selling this time at 3,600 it goes. Sold at 3,006. Did they bid right then? Did someone bid on the end? 5, 7. Sorry about that online bidder there. You just tried to come in as the hammer already fallen. As the hammer was already fallen, it was unfortunately already sold. Moving on to lot number 124, 1936 this time. We have the Riley MPH replica. Have a good look at this one. Lovely little Riley model this is. We're going to go straight in at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and £15,000 were bid. At 15,000, what an example here. Sat in the centre of the room there at £15,000. At 15,000's the bid now at 15,000. At 15,000, 16's bid. And 17 back to me. At 17,000 here on the book. At 17,000, 17,000. At 17,000's bid. On the Riley this time and away. At £17,000. At 17,000, 17,000. I'll take 18 bid. I'm out. I'll take 18.5 now. At £18,000 with you online bidder. At 18,000 is the bid. At 18,000, 18,000. The bid is here currently online with you at £18,000. Would anyone else like another 5? At 18,000 is the bid. At 18,000, 18,000. At £18,000. The last chance in fair warning. And if we're finished and done, make no mistake. At 18,000, 18,000. Your bid online. I will submit today. Make no mistake. At 18,000 once, 18,000 twice. All finished and done at £18,000. That is your bid. Online bidder there. 1225. Was that 1225? 18,000 provisional. Moving down we go. Lot number 125. Lot number 125. 1965. I absolutely love this one. It's the Ford Mustang there. Looks absolutely great in the colour. There it is in the back of the room there. Love the colour on this one as well. Where are we going to go on this one? Start me off. I'm straight in at 10, 11, 12, £13,000 we start. Ford Mustang here at £13,000. At 13,000, 13,000. At 13,000 is bid. At 13,500, 14. 14,005 is my bid here at 14,005. At 14,005, say 15 for one more. At 14,005, 15 you do. Thank you, online bid. I got 15,500. At 15,500, back to me. At 15,500 is bid. At 15,500, 15,500. At 15,500 is the bid now at 15,005. Say 16 if you're coming back in for one more. 15,005. At 15,500 and 16 you do. I'm out now. You're in online at 16,000. Would anyone else like to have another 5? At 16,000 is the bid now at 16. At 16,000, 16,000. At 16,000 is the bid now at 16. Are we finished and done then? At £16,000. At 16,000, I'll take 250 if it helps anyone else out, but I'm going to count it down at £16,000 with the online bidder here. Once, at £16,000 twice, all finishing done at £16,000. That's your bid online, same bidder as well. Thank you very much, online bidder. You got yourself a brace there. Provisionally, we'll be in touch. Moving on down the list, we go to lot number 126, 2000 Mazda MX-5. Iconic little Mazda this is indeed. No reserve. It must be sold today. I love it there. I love the color of it as well. Proper cute little car indeed. I'm going to go 5, 6, 7, 809, £1,000 we start. And I'll say 1,100 next if you're coming in. At 1,000's bid. 11, I've got 12. 13, I've got 14. At 1,400, my commission bidders here. At 1,400, 1,400. At 1,400, would you like to go 15 anywhere else? At £1,400 is the bid now at 14. At 1,400, 1,400. Mazda MX-5 at just 1,400. Make no mistake when bidding. At 1,400, 1,400. At 1,400, 1,400. 15's bid, but I've got 16. Come back in online for one more. At 1,600 is bid. At 1,600, 16. Would anyone like 17 now? At 1,600 is bid. At 1,600, 1,600. I'll tell you what, I'll take 1,650 if it helps anyone out. Nitty gritty time. At £1,600. Would anyone else like to go 50? Are we finished and done? At 1,600 once. At 1,600 twice. All finished. Are we on the phones? You coming in on the phones? At 16,000. Shakes the head, I think. At 16,000, 16,000. Last chance, fair warning then. At £1,600, sorry, not 16,000. Once, twice, finishing done. Selling at £1,600 with my commission interest here. Sold for £1,600 to 3016. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 127, another no reserve car in today's sale. And what a machine this is. It's the Ford F100 custom pickup. Imagine getting this one up and running and working absolutely smoothly. What would it be worth? You don't see many of these on the roads. Great bit of American car motor in this is. I'm going to go straight in. 4, 4.5, 5. 5.5, £6,000. We start with me at £6,000 is bid. That's £6,000. Say 6.5 next. We'll go in 500s on this one. At £6,000. Amongst my commission interest here, it takes me up to 6,000, 6.5, but I've got 7. That's 7,000. That's 7,000, 7,000, 7,000. Go 5 for one more. 7.5, thank you online, but I've got 8. Can I say 250 next, Molly, if you can? At £8,000. We're going 250s now. At 8,000, 8,000, 8,250. 8 5s with me. At 8,005. At 8,500 is bid. At 8,005, 8,750. Thank you, online bidder, but I've got 9. At £9,000, 9,250. You're back in, but I've got 9,500. At 9,005, say 750 if you wish to go again. At 9,500 is the bid. At 9,500, 9,500, 9,500. Go 750 if anyone else is coming in. Find another like this. At 9,005, you won't. At 9,500 is the bid. At 9,595, I'm going to sell it today. It's no reserve. It must go, so make no mistake. At 9,005, are we finished and done? At 9,000, 9,500, the hammer's up now at 9,005. The last chance in fair warning then at 9,500. Once, twice, finished and done at £9,500. Sold to my commission interest, 3019. Takes that one, 3019 at £9,500. Thank you very much. Moving on to lot number 128. This time we go to the Volkswagen. It's the T2. It's the Westphalia. And it's the well-restored camper. Look at that. Looks great indeed. I love the color coordination on this one. It's got that lovely pink striped interior as well. You're straight in online at 2,000. I got 2,500. I've got 3,000. At £3,000. At 3,000 bid. Say 3,500 if you're coming in now. At 3,000's the bid with me. 3,500's there. I've got 4,000. You also bid online. 4's with me. At 4,000, take 5 from anyone else. At 4,000, 5. I see you. 4,500 on the telephone bidders in. At 4,005, 5,000 gentlemen's bid. My commission bids are out now. It's between the telephones and the gentlemen in the room. 5,000 down the front, Johnny. At £5,000. Would you like 250? Roger, 5,250, thank you. At 5,250 is bid. 5,500, gentleman's bid. At 5,005, we'll stay in the quarters for you though. At 5,005, 750 at the back. At 5,750 on the telephones. 6,000, gentleman's bid. At £6,000. At 6,250, telephone bidders back. At £6,250. 6,500 down front, seated bidder now. At 6,005, gentleman's bid. Telephone bidder, would you like to go again? 6,750. They say yes, please, on the phones. Thank you. At 6,750 is bid. Would you like to go 7? 7 you do. Shakes the head, gets the nod. At £7,000, gentleman's bid. At 7,000 bid. At 7,000, 7,000, 7,000. It's your turn on the phones. Yes, please. At 7,250, the quarter bids back in. At 7,250. At 7,250, 7,500. Thank you, sir. At 7,005. At 7,005 is the bid. At 7,005. They're slowing down on the telephones. I think you might have done it, sir. At 7,005. Are you finished and done on the phones? Shakes the head. Thank you for the clarification. Gentleman's bid here at 7,005. Would anyone else like to have a go? At 7,005, I'm going to submit the bid. Last chance in fair warning. If you're coming in, it's now or never. At 7,500, once, twice. Finished and done at 7,005. Your bid, sir. 373. Thank you. 373. £7,500 provisional. Moving down the list, we go to lot number 129. Year is 2000. Mercedes-Benz is the S55 AMG. Look at this one in the blue there with the V8 as well. I'm going to go straight in at just £2,000 we start. Lovely little Mercedes. This is at 2,000. Say 2,250 next. We'll go in the quarters at £2,000. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. Would anyone like 250? You do. At 2,250's bid. And 2.5's back to me. At 2,005, say 750 for one more anywhere else. At 2,005 is bid. 2,750 you're in. And £3,000 now. At 3,000's the bid. At 3,000, 3,000. At £3,000 is the bid now at 3. Would anyone else like to come back in? 3,250 you do. I'm out and you're in online. Thank you. At 3,250 is bid. Say 3.5 anywhere else. At £3,250, this is cheap. At 3,250, make no mistake here. At 3,250 is the bid now at 3,250. At £3,250 is the bid now at £3,250. Are we finished? I'll tell you what, go 3-3 and we'll do that again and we'll go hundreds. Would anyone like a £50 bid? At 3,250, are we finished and done? Make no mistake, last chance, fair warning, I'll submit the bid today, once, twice. Finished and done, £3,250. That's your bid online. Thank you. £3,250. That is a provisional bid there. £3,250. Moving down the list, we go to lot number 130. I love these bikes. It's the 2004. It's the ST1300. It's the Pan-European. The bikes that just go on and on and on. And we're starting straight away at £1,000. At £1,000's bid. At 1,000's the bid now at 1. At £1,000. At 1,000 with my commission interest here. I'll take 1,100 if anyone else wants to bid. At £1,000. 1,100 you do. At 1,100, 1,100. Say 12 anywhere else. At 1,100, we're bid online. At 1,001. At 1,100, are we finished? Are we done? Last chance in fair warning. 12. Welcome to you in Brighton. You're in. At 1,200's bid. At 1,200, 1,200. I will submit the bid today. Would the underbidder like to come back for one more? At £1,200. Last chance. At £1,200. Fair warning then, I'm submitting the bid with you online, currently in Brighton at £1,200. That is your bid at 1,200 Brighton there. 1,200, that is very provisional on that one. We will have to make a phone call and see what we can do. And you were 5,284. Thank you. Moving on to lot number 131. This machine is a machine, and an impressive machine it definitely is. And Lewis is going to tell you all about it.
Thank you very much, Tom. Now, I've seen a fair few blinged up off-road cars in my time. I've seen Defenders done by Chelsea, and I've seen many things like that, which, let's be honest with ourselves, the main purpose for them is to drop the kids off at school and come back. But that is definitely not the case with this. 2010 Jeep Wrangler Ultimate by Storm Jeeps. This has had the whole hog done to it, and it's all for a purpose. Over £10,000 spent in it. I mean, just that winch alone is a fair bit of money. It's all been done up very nicely. I mean, the Jeep Wrangler is the perfect basis for this. I mean, the Wrangler is one of the few modern off-roaders that still uses solid axles. Again, doesn't sacrifice on off-road performance for the sake of comfort for the children going to school. It is an off-road machine. I mean, look at the size of those lights on the front. And it's a good basis for, again, 2.8-litre diesel with the automatic gearbox. Plenty of torque on that will pull you along. But also, I've got to lie, as much as I said it's not about comfort, there are some creature comforts in there too. You can have your cake and eat it with this one. I mean, I've moved this around in these very hot conditions, and the air conditioning in that is better than most cars I've been into. So if you're going to adventure in a hot environment, this is the car for you. Again, it's got a 4-inch lift, Smitty built X20 winch, heavy duty bumpers, Rockstar wheels, very, very in your face. I love it. I think this thing is angry. It's ridiculous, but it's also incredibly capable. 89,000 miles, an MOT until November of 2026, 17 to 19,000 pounds for something that is uncompromisingly mean and built to go the distance. But we'll find out what it gets to. I will hand back over to you, Tom.
It definitely is one mean machine indeed. Where are we going to go on this one? We're straight in at £10,000 is bid. Say 10.5 next. At £10,000 we start on the Jeep Wrangler here at £10,000. At 10,000, 10,000, would you like to go 5 anywhere else? At £10,000 is the bid now at 10. At 10,000, 5. 11,000's bid. At 11,000, go 5 for one more. At 11,000, 11,000. At £11,000 is the bid now at 11. At 11,000, 11,000, would anyone else like to come in for another 5? At 11,005, you do online. At 11,005. At 11,005. 11,005 and I'm out. 11,005. 11,005, say 12,000 anywhere else. At 11,500, we're currently online at the minute. We're 11,005. 11,500, 11,500, 11,500. I'll take 250 if it helps anyone out. Would anyone like 11,750? 11,500. 11,500 is the bid now at 11,500. Are we finishing done here? 11,500, 11,750, okay. 11,750's bid. 11,750 pounds is the bid now at 11,750. At 11,750 is the bid. Would you like to come back in for 12? At 11,750, are we finishing done? Last chance in fair warning on this one then. At 11,750 once, 11,750 twice, all finishing done at 11,750 pounds. That's your bid there, 2,852. Thank you, 11,750 pounds. Moving down we go, lot number 132 this time is the 1970 Ford Mustang convertible. Looks great in the red over there. We're going to go straight in at £9,000 with me at 9. Say 9,500 next, at £9,000. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. At £9,000 is the bid now at 9. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. 10. At 10,000, 5. At 10,500's bid. At 10,005. At 10,500, lovely Mustang it is here. At just 10,500 is the bid. At 10,500, 10,500, 10,500. At 10,500. Would anyone else like to have a go on this one? 11 you do. Thank you. New bidder this time. At £11,000. At 11,000, 11,000. Say 500 for one more. Would anyone else like to have a go here? What a vehicle here. At just £11,000. 11,000 is the bid. At 11,000, 11,000. At £11,000. Are we finished and done then? We're currently online here at £11,000. 11,500 new bidder. 11,500. 11,000, 11,500. Would anyone else like to go 12 now on the Mustang this time and away? At 11,500. 11,500 pounds. Would you like to come back in for the 12? 11,500. 11,500 once. 11,500 twice. All finished and done then with the online bidder this time at 11,500 finished and done. That's your bid online, 2110. That is 11,500, but that is a provisional bid. Moving down we go. Lot number 133. I think it's the first of the rollers today. It's the Rolls-Royce Silver Wraith 2. This one, I love the color on this one as well. Look how indulgent that blue looks there. We're going to go straight in at 2005. 2.5's bid. At 2005. Say 3 next if you're coming in here. At 3,000, thank you, online bidder, you're in. At £3,000 to you in Norfolk. At £3,000, say 250 if anyone else is coming in. That's done my commission interest already. At 3,000 bid. 3.5's bid. 3,005. At 3,005's the bid. On the telephones now. At 3,005. Take the 750. We'll stay in the 250s for you. Jumping in on the telephones. At 3,005. 3,750. Bidder here. With you in Shropshire at 3,750. Take 4 next if we can. 4's bid. Telephone bidder. Thank you on the phones. At 4,000, 4,000. With Nat's bidder now at £4,000 on the telephone. Would you like to come back in online? Or anyone else in the room like to have a go on this one? Yes, please, says sir. £4,250 we're bid with the gentleman there. At £4,250 is bid. At 4,250, 4,250. 4,005's on the telephones. At 4,005. At 4,500, would you like another go, sir? At 4,005, the bidders are here on the telephones at the minute. At 4,005, say 4,750 for one more. At 4,005, thank you, sir. At 4,750, gets the nod. At 4,750 pounds. 5,000 back to the telephone bidder now. At 5,000 pounds. Say 250 again. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. At £5,000 is the bid now at 5. Take 250 if you're coming back in now. At £5,000. Are we all finished and done? The bid is here on the telephones. Last chance in fair warning. I will submit the bid. Would you like 100, sir? At £5,000. At 5,000, 5,000. I'll take 100 from anywhere else. 5-1. 5-1's bid. Online almost jumped in then as well. Make it quick if you're coming in online. You're against 2 of them. 5-2. At 5,002. Telephone bidder. Shakes the head. Thank you anyway, though, sir. I really like the shirt. At 5,002. With you. At 5,002. Online bidder. Would you like 5-3? Last chance. 5-3. They say yes, please. Welcome to you in Preston. You're in at 5,003. 5-4. Thank you. Telephone bidder. Back to Nat's telephone now at 5,004. Would anyone else like to come in for 5-5? At £5,400 is the bid now at 5,004. Online, last chance in fair warning. We're going to count you down. I see you're still hovering. At 5,400 once. At 5,400 twice. All finished and done at £5,400. Your bidder, £5,400. Do you have a bidder? No, I'll just pin that, all right? Right then, as we go down to lot number 134, it's a 1975. It's the Lotus Elite. I love this Lotus. The lights on the front looks great indeed on this one. And it's being offered today with no reserve. I've got nothing on the book, but online bidder, you're straight in at £2,000. At 2,000's bid. Say 2,002 next if we can. We'll go twos on this one. We're at 2,000. Would anyone like 2-2? 2-2's bid. Was that 2-2? Happy with that? Thank you. 2-4's in. At 2,004. Would you like 2-6? 2-6 is bid. Gentleman's bid here at 2,006. 2-8 if you're coming back in now online. At 2,006 is bid. At 2,000, 2,006. Are we finishing done here? At 2,006. Take 2-8 if anyone. 2-8's back in now. At 2,008. Lancashire bidder. At 2,008. 3,000. 3,000's bid. Gentleman's bid now at £3,000. At 3,000, make it 2 if anyone else wants to come in. At £3,000. It's going to sell today. Make no mistake. No reserve. It must be sold. 3,002. Yorkshire bidder this time at 3,002. At 3-2's the bid. At 3,200 here. Lovely little Lotus at just 3,002. Would you like 3-4? 3-3. 3-3, okay. At 3,003. We're in the hundreds now. Make it quick online. At 3,003, it's going to sell today. At £3,300. Gentleman's bid. Make no mistake. At 3,003. At 3,300, I'm going to count it down for you online. At 3,300, with the gentleman here once. At £3,300 is bid. At 3,000, 3,004's bid online. At 3,004. Are you out on the telephones at the back? At 3,004. Shakes head. 3-5. 3-5's bid. Thank you, sir. At 3,005. Gentleman's bid now at 3,005. I'm going to count you down again online. At 3,500. 3,006 is back in now. Hampshire bidder this time. New bidder again. At 3,006. There's a few of you online. Still make it nice and quick if you're coming in. Make no mistake. We are selling today at 3,006. At 3,000, 3,600. The hammer's up then. The last chance. Fair warning. Once, twice. Finished and done. And selling this time at £3,600 it goes. Sold with you online bidder at £3,600. And you were bidder number 20463. Moving on to lot number 135. Let's get this one. 1988. It was the Porsche 944 Lux as well. Already sold. Next one, lot 136. 2007 Mercedes ML. It's the ML 420 here. Where are we going to go on this one? Also to be offered with no reserve today. I'm going to go straight in at 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, 1,600, £1,800 we start amongst my commission bigs. £1,800. Say 2,000 if you're coming. I thought you might. At 2,000 bid. At £2,000 now. Gentleman's bid at 2,000. I got 2-2 though. 2-4. 2-6. I got 2-8. I'll take 2-9. No, 2-8 with me then. At 2,008. At 2,008. Take 2-9 from anyone else. One more will do it. At 2,008. At 2,000, 2,800 amongst my commission bidders here. At £2,800 is the bid now at 2,008. Are you sure? At £2,800. Last chance in fair warning. I'm going to sell it at £2,800. Are we sure? 2,850. I'll take it. At 2,850. Gentleman's bid now. I'm out. You're in, sir. At 2,850. I'll take 2,9 from anyone else. At 2,850. Are we finished? Are we done? At 2,850 once. At 2,850 twice, and it sells this time in a way at 2,850. Thank you very much, sir. 2,850, 374. Thank you. Moving down we go to lot number 137. This one is the Westfield SE wide engine lightweight sports car. It's got the sort of Lotus styling to it as well. Where are we going to go on this? I'm straight in at just £3,000. I say 3-2. We'll go in the twos again. At 3,000's bid. Say 3-2 next. Keep the increments nice and low for you online. At £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000, we start here with my commission interest at £3,000. Say 200 if anyone else wants to come in or will submit the bid today. At 3,002, 3-2's the bid. At 3,002, say 3-4 for one more. 3-4's bid, thank you. At 3,004 now. At 3,004, say 3-6 again. At 3,400 is the bid now at 3,004. At 3,400, 3,400, 3,400. Are we finished and done? 3,600, we're not. At 3,600, I've got 3,800. At 3,008. At £3,800 is the bid now at 3,008. Coming back in for the 4. At £3,800 is bid. At 3,800, 3,800, 3,800. Are we finished and done? Would anyone else like to have a go here? On the Westfield then at just 3,800. What a fun car for such little money at just £3,800. At 3,008 once. At 3,000, 3,800 twice. All finished and done then at 3,004's bid just in time. And you beat my commission bids as well, sir. You're just sneaking in there at £4,000. Thanking you. At 4,000's bid. At 4,000, 4,000, take 2 from anyone else. If not, I'll submit the bid. At 4,000, once, twice, finished and done. At £4,000, your bid, sir. 4,000, what's your paddle number? 365, thank you. 365. And ladies and gentlemen, another one we go. We sold some cars before, and then the provisionals, lot 128, has now sold. Nice little update for you there. Thank you very much. Lot number 128 now sold. We are going down to lot 138, 2006 Bentley Continental GT. It's also the Mulliner spec as well. Look at this one. Where are we going to go on this one? I'm straight in at £5,000. At 5's the bid. At £5,000 now. Say 5,500 next if you're coming in. We'll go in 500s on this one. Nice Continental this is. What a smart looking car. At 5,005 you're in online. And 6,000 back to me. At £6,000. At £6,000 here. On the Bentley at just £6,000 is bid. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. Would anyone else like to come back in for another 5? You do online and I'm out at 6,005. I'll take the 750s now. At 6,500's bid. Would you like to come back in for a call to bite? At 6,005, 6,750 you do. Thank you, online bidder, you're in. At 6,750. At 6,750, 6,750. Cheap little motor this is. At £6,750. All of that Bentley there you're getting. 7,000, thank you. I thought so. At 7,000 bid. At 7,000, 7,000, 7,000. Will there ever be a better time to buy one of these? At 7,000 is the bid now at 7. At 7,000, say 250 if anyone else is coming back in. At £7,000. Are we finished and done here at just 7,000? I'm going to start counting it down. Online underbidder, would you like to come back in for one more? Yes, please, they say. At 7,250 back in just in time. At 7,250, make it 7,500 if you wish to go again. At 7,250, we will submit the bid today. At 7,250, are we finished? Are we done? At 7,250 once. At 7,250 twice. All finished, all done. £7,250. That's your bid. 18311. 18311 at £7,250. Provisional. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 139, 2016. It's the Indian Springfield. Quite like these bikes. Big bikes they are indeed. Big, bulky machines. We're going to go straight in at 4, 4.5 and £5,000. At 5,000 we start here. On the Indian Springfield then at just £5,000. At 5,000's the bid. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,005 is that coming in? 5,005 it is. At 5,005. Take it to 6 if anyone else wishes to have a go. At 5,005. At 5,005 and 6,000 now. Thank you, online bidder there in London. Is your bid at £6,000. What a cool looking bike it really is. At just 6,000's bid. I'll tell you what, I'll take 250. Underbidder, would you like to come back for a small one? 6,250, thank you, they say. At 6,250. At 6,250 with the Devon bidder, you're back in now. London bidder, would you like to go 6,005? Don't miss out on this. At £6,250 is the bid. At 6,250, 6,250, are we finished? Are we done? At 6,250, 6,500. 6,500 back to London. At 6,005, would you like to go again now in Devon? At 6,005. At 6,500, we're bid. At 6,500, all finished, all done. Last chance, fair warning then. 6,750, sneaking back in with our Devon bidder now. At £6,750 is bid. London, it's your turn. At £6,750 is the bid now at 6,750. At 6,750 is the bid now at 6,750. Are we finished? Are we done? Last chance, fair warning then. At £6,750, the bid is currently with you online in Devon. At 6,750, the bid then once. At 6,750, the bid then twice. All finished and done at £6,750. That's your bid online there at £6,750. Missed the number. You have to get that from me in the office if you can. Moving on to lot number 140. We go on this one. 1988. It's the Fiat. It's the 126. The nice little bis this is. This is definitely a cool car. And it's being offered today with no reserve. I'm going to have to start it off at £500. I've got two people that have left that bid. So the person that's left it first, you're in the lead at £500. We'll say £750 next if we can. That'll sort any arguments out amongst my commission bidders. £750 you're in. Thank you. £1,000's next. At £7,000 bid. At £1,000. We'll stay in these bids. £1,250. Yes, telephone's in at £1,250. Thank you on the phone. Say 15 if you're coming back in now. Find another that looks this great. Nice little 126 bis here. 1988, £1,500 at £1,500. I'll take 16 if it's helpful. 1750, thank you. At 1750's bid. At 1750, 1750 on the telephones at the minute. Would you like to go to anywhere else? At 1750, 1750. At 1750, you know what I'm going to do now, Molly? I'm going to go 1800 if you want it, and then we'll go in hundreds. At 1750's bid on the telephone. You're coming back in for the 18 online. Make it quick. 1800. Next bid's 19. We're currently with you in Haywards Heath at the minute. I'll take it. Go on. Bid's a bid. 1850, as long as it's upwards. At 1850 to bid. At 1850, 1850. Would you like 19? On the telephones, it's against you. Make no mistake, finished and done. I'm going to sell today at 1850, 19 bid. Haywards Heath wouldn't let it go. Phones, it's your turn. Would you like another one? 1950's bid. At 1950 with the telephone bidder now. At 1950, coming back in for £2,000. Surely one more. You've come this far. At 1950, if we're finished and done, then hammers up. At 1950 on the telephones, this time and away, once, twice, finished and done. At 1950 with the telephone bidder, then 1950. Sold. Right then, moving on down we go. Lot number 141. This is a Peugeot 106 Rally spec there, and over to you, Lewis.
Thank you very much, Tom. And we have this absolutely lovely Peugeot 106 in the rally spec. These were built for homologation for the N1 rally cars. And overall, it is an absolute back to basics, proper hot hatch. We're talking no power steering, no ABS, no electric windows, just 825 kilograms and a 1.3 litre engine that sings. I mean, this will rev all the way up to 7,200 RPM, and it sounds good doing it. This car, it was driven over 60 miles to the auction. It's just had a brand new fresh MOT on it as well, so it's completely ready to go. It underwent a restoration. It presents beautifully, and when they refreshed the interior, they used original rally cloth that had been refurnished so that the interior is fresh, but is importantly correct. This car, it just looks right throughout. It's absolutely joyful to drive. Again, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it sings, it's an occasion, and it reminds you why the hot hatch scene was so good in the 1990s. It's had a rebuilt engine and gearbox along with that restoration. At 10 to 12,000 pounds, these have a very, very dedicated following. And I understand why. Having driven this one myself now, I completely get it. I was skeptical, I'll admit, before I drove it. But once I got in, I could not wipe the smile off my face. And I reckon whoever the new owner is will be the exact same. But to find out who that'll be, I'll hand back over to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Lewis. Online bidders jumped straight in here, went 1,005, 2,000, then straight in. I'm going to go to £5,000 and £3,000. At 3,000's the bid. At 3,000, £3,000. We start here at £3,000 now. At £3,000 is the bid now at 3. Say 500 for one more. At 3,005, you're in, and 4,000's back to me. At £4,000. At 4,000's the bid. It's my bid here, Molly. Just flick it to me at 4,000. Go 4,500 online. One more will do it though. At 4,000 bid. At £4,000. My commission bid here at £4,000. Say 4,500 if you're coming in now. 4,500. There you go. I'm out and you're in. Thank you. At 4,500 with the online bid. At 4,500. Would anyone else like 5,000 now? At 4,500 is bid. At 4,000, 4,500. At 4,500, coming back in for the 5. At 4,005 and £5,000. Welcome to you. Newton Abbott bidder this time at £5,000. I'll tell you what, we'll go in the quarters now. Bid nice and quick online, but we'll go in smaller bites. At £5,000, 250 if anyone else wants to have a go. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. Coming in for the 250 for one more. At 5,000, are you finished and done? I will submit the bid today. Make no mistake. At 5,000's bid. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. 5,250? 5,250 bid. Thank you, sir. At 5,250, wouldn't try, sorry if you're saying one or not. At 5,250's bid. At 5,250 is the bid now. At 5,250, go 5,500 online if you're coming back in. I'll submit the bid today, so make no mistake. At 5,250 is bid. At 5,250, 5,250, all finished, all done. Last chance in fair warning. I'm counting it down. I won't because we're far off. At 5,250 once. At 5,250 twice. Finishing done then. Oh, 5,500 sneaking in right on the wire. At 5,005. Leave it a little later next time in Doncaster. You'd have missed out. At 5,005. Would you like to go again, sir? Are you sure? At 5,005. I'll take 5,600 if it helps you out. I'll do you the favour. At 5,005, we're currently in South Yorkshire now. At 5,005, we'll go in the hundreds if anyone else wants to come in. At 5,005. Thank you anyway. At 5,005. At 5,005 with the Doncaster bidder then. At 5,005 once. At 5,000, 5,500 twice. All finished and done at £5,500. That's your bid online at £5,500. We'll have a telephone call on that one and we will be in touch shortly. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 142 in today's sale is a 1955. It's the Singer Hunter. There we go. Look at this one there. The post-war car, it says here, 1955. Come back 10 years after them. We're going to go straight in. 1,000. I'm going to go 12, 14, 16, 18, 2,000. I'll take 2 next. We'll stay in the 200s for you online. At 2,000's the bid. At £2,000. At 2,000 bid. At 2,000, 2,2, 2,4, 2,4, 2,6 is bid. At 2,006, say 2,800 for one more. At £2,600 is the bid now at 2,006. At 2,000, 2,600 is the bid now at 2,006. Say 2,800 for one more if anyone wants to have a go. At 2,600, are we finished and done? At 2,000, 2,600 once. At 2,600 twice. Finished and done at £2,600. My bidder here, provisionally, very provisionally on that one, £2,600. Moving on to lot number 143. Lot number 143 is 1999 BMW 528i Auto. This one, there we go. Starting away on this one, we're going to go straight in at £2,000. At 2,002, 2,4, 2,6, 2,8, £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, say 2 for one more. On the lovely little BMW here. At just 3,000 we start. At £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000 bid. Say 3,2 for one more if anyone wants to come in here. At £3,000. Nice 1999 BMW 5 Series then. At just 3,000's the bid. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. At 3,000, would anyone else like to have a go here? At just £3,000. Are we finished? Are we done? At 3,000 once. At 3,000 twice. All finished and done at £3,000. We are a long way off on that one. If you left that commission bid, we will be in touch, but don't hold your breath. 3,000. Moving down, we go to lot number 144. I love this one. It's the 2006 Subaru Impreza. It's the WRX, the turbocharged performance. It's got the gold wheels as well. You're in at 2. I got 3. 3,000's bid. Say 3,500 next if you're coming in. At £3,000. Lovely little Impreza here. 3,500 you do. At 3,005. 4,000's bid. At 4,000 now. Go 5 for one more. At 4,005. You're in online and I'm out. At 4,005. At 4,500 is the bid now at 4,005. I'll take the 250 now if it helps anyone else out. At 4,005, would anyone else like a quarter bite? At 4,500, currently online with you in Londonderry at 4,005. At 4,750, new bidder in Devon at 4,750 and £5,000. Back to the Londonderry bidder now at 5,000 bid. At 5,000, 5,000. At £5,000, the bid is currently online with you at £5,000. Would anyone else like to have another little go? 5,250 you do. Back to Devon. At £5,250 is the bid. And 5,500. Thank you there. Londonderry, you're back in. At 5,005. At 5,500 is the bid now at 5,005. At £5,500, Subaru Impreza WRX at £5,500. I'll take 750 at 5,750. Thank you. It goes on. Back to Devon bidder now. At £5,750 is bid. Say 6 if you're coming back in. 6 you do. Thanking you online bidders there. At 6,000's bid. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. At £6,000 now. The Subaru then at just £6,000. 250 if anyone else wishes to have a go here. It looks great indeed. Are we sure? Are you coming back in Devon for one more? I will submit the bid today. We are nearly there. I'll tell you what, we'll go 6-1. Does it help anyone out? At £6,000. At 6,000, 6,000. 1 you do. Thanking you. At 6,001 with the online bidder now. At 6,001. At 6,002 you do. At 6,002. At 6,000, 6,002. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,002. At £6,200 is the bid now at 6,002. Are we finished and done? Last chance in fair warning here at 6,200. You're still thinking about it online. Have a go. At £6,200. Are we finished and done? Last chance. Fair warning then. At 6,200 once. At 6,200 twice. That's your bid online. We are very close. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll hear that one come back to you before the end of the sale there. At 6,200, that's 21186. Hoping to get some results back. We just didn't get through on the phones, I don't think, but I'm pretty sure they'll let that go for that. Moving down we go to lot number 145. The year is 1995 here. It's the Mercedes-Benz. It's the R129. Look at this one. I love this one again. Looks great in the white as well. It's got that pearly white color. Where are we going to go on this one? We're going to go straight in at £5,000, and I'll say 5,500 next. At 5,000's a bit. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. At £5,000 is the bid now at 5. At 5,000, would anyone like a 250 then? At £5,000, we're starting here at just 5,000. Would anyone like a quarter? 250's bid. 5,500 back to me. At 5,005. At 5,005 is the bid now at 5,750's bid. My commission interest is out. You're in online. At 5,750, take 6 if anyone else wishes to have a bid. At 5,750 is the bid now at 5,750. Are we finishing done? At 5,750. The bid is currently online here at 5,750. I'll take 6,000 if anyone else wishes to have a bid. It's your last chance. Fair warning then, with the online bidder here at 5,750 once. 5,750 twice, all finishing done at £5,750. That's your bid online at 5,750. That is provisional 2952. Moving down the list, we go to lot number 146 this time. Then lot number 146, 1935, Rolls-Royce is the 2025 limousine by Barker & Co. That is certainly one way to travel around in style there. And we're going to go straight in at just £3,500, £4,000. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. At £4,000 is the bid now at 4. At 4,000's the bid. Say 500 for 5. 5,000, 5,000. You're in now in Norwich there. At £5,000. I'm out. Commission bidder is done and dusted. You're in online at £5,000. Say 5,500 if anyone else wishes to have a go. At 5,005 you do. Online bidders back in. At 5,005. Between the two of you online at the minute. At 5,005. Say 6,000 if you wish to go again. At 5,005. It looks absolutely great up here. And little money indeed at just £5,500. I'll take the 750 if it brings the underbidder back in for one more. Would you like to have another go online? At 5,005. At 5,005. Last chance. Fair warning, if we're finished and done at just 5,500 once, 5,500 twice. Make no mistake then, at 5,500 with the online bidder here. Whoa, 5,750. Preston bidders sneaking in there at 5,750 is bid. At 5,750, 5,750. At £5,750. Last chance in fair warning. Underbidder, would you like to go 6? At £5,750. I know sometimes in this heat, we just need that little bit extra to think. At 5,750, the bid is with you now. I'm going to go once, twice, finished and done. 5,000. Sorry, sir. 6. £6,000. Much appreciated. Sometimes these people are all waving their fans around. I can't tell if it's a bid or not, but that's a genuine bid with you at £6,000 is the bid now at 6. At 6,000, 6,000, gentleman's bid. Make it another 250 if you're coming back in online. I'm going to start counting it down now. At 6,000 once. At 6,000 twice. All finished, all done at £6,000. Your bid provisionally, sir, at £6,000. Could I just have your paddle number again? My memory's gone today. 368, thank you very much. Moving on to lot number 147, 1989. It's the Bentley Turbo. It's the Bentley Turbo R, and Lewis is going to tell you all about it.
Thank you very much, Tom. And we have this 1989 Bentley Turbo R. Now, the Turbo R, I'd say, is one of the first more modern Bentleys that has the suspension underneath that gives it more of a driving characteristic that matches the power that the car has. I mean, you had revised anti-roll bars, revised suspension. These are actually much nicer to drive rather than just pulling forward. But what makes this one special, because you may look at it on the website and see 158,000 miles, and that can be a little bit intimidating, but the main thing I say is you want to look at the history, peel back the story of the car, and with this one, you certainly want to read more, because this has been kept in a private collection for the last 10 years. It's been maintained by specialists in that collection for the last 10 years, and it shows going up and down it. I mean, if Charlie manages to have a look at the inside, the quality of the leather underneath there, it's all been very well maintained, in excellent condition, and it's not short on features as well. In the back, we got the drinks cabinet with the crystal tumblers for when the gentleman wants to get fancy. It's had 5 owners. The last 2 have kept it for 15 and for 10 years. It's done 158,000 miles, and it comes with the unique registration on the front, which is 67BTR, which would be a very appealing registration to go with that. Overall, it presents absolutely gorgeously. I think these have aged very well. They're very nice to drive, and one of the better examples that you can get hold of for £9,500 to £11,500. But as always, I'll hand back over to you, Tom. We'll see where we start.
Well, we're starting very, very low on this one. I've got commission bids 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, £4,000 is the starting bid here at £4,000. I'd like to see 4.5 next. At 4,000's bid. At £4,000 is the bid now at 4. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Would anyone 4.5 gentleman's bid at 4,005? I've got 5,000 now. At 5,000, my commission interest. Would you like 5.5, sir? One more. At 5.5, you're in and I'm out. Thank you. At 5,005, gentleman's bid. At £5,500, coming in for the 6. Anywhere else? At 5,005. At 5,000, 5,000, 6 is bid. Thank you. New bidder this time at £6,000. Say 5 again. At £6,000 on the Bentley Turbo R here. At just 6,000's the bid now 6. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. At £6,000. Would you like a 250? Would that help you out? At £6,000, still shakes the head. At 6,000's the bid. At 6,000, 6,000. I'll take 250 from anywhere else if you want to come back in. At £6,000 is bid. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000, take the 250 now. Are we finished and done with the online bidder? Seems as still to me at just £6,000 is bid. At 6,000 once. At 6,000, 6,000 twice. All finished and done then. Last chance in fair warning. Whoa, 6 250s in. Derbyshire bidder there. There's a lot of late bidding going on today, ladies and gentlemen. At £6,250 with the Derbyshire bidder now. At 6,250, make it 6.5 if you wish to go again. At 6,250 is bid. At 6,250 to bid now at 6,250. I'll count it down again this time and away. At 6,250 once, twice, finished and done. £6,250. That's yours online bidder there, 6,250. That's a provisional bid, and you were 6,051. Thank you, Molly. Another little update coming in. I did say we'd get it back to you as soon as possible. Lot 144 sold away on the Subaru there as well. So the Subaru's now gone, and we go to lot number 148 this time. Lot number 148 is 1968. It's the MGC in the green as well. I love the color on this one as well. Where are we going to go? Start me off on this one. I'm straight in at just £5,000. I'll say 5.5 next if we can. At 5,000's the bid. At 5,000, we're starting here with me at 5,005. 6,000 back in now, 6. At 6,000, go 5 again. At £6,000. At 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. The bid is against you now online. At 6,000's the bid. At 6,005. New bidder this time. At 6,005, but I've got 7. But one more might do it. At 7,000's the bid. At 7,000, 7,000. At £7,000, we're bid now at 7. At 7,000's the bid now at 7,005. You're in online and I'm out. Thanking you. I still think there's a couple of bidders online. At 8,000's the bid. At 8,000 bid now at 8. So say 500 if you wish to come back in. At 8,000's the bid. At £8,000, 8.5, is that coming in 8.5? 8.5 you do. Thank you, online bidder there at 8,005. Say 9 for one more at 8,005. Cheap little car this is at just £8,500. At 8,005. At 8,005 is the bid. I'll tell you what, I'll take 8,750 if it brings you back in. At 8,005, the bid is against you online. 8,750, thank you there. New bidder this time at £8,750 is bid. At 8,750, 8,750. Would anyone else like to come back in for the 9? At 8,750. Are you finished and done online? At 8,750 is bid. At 8,750, 8,750, 9 you do. Thanking you at £9,000. Keep going if you wish to go again. At 9,000's bid. At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. Take 250 for one more. Are we finished and done? Online bidders, would you like to go again? At 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. I'm going to count it down then. Be sure and done. At 9,000 the bid once. At 9,000, 9,000 the bid then twice. All finished and done with you online at £9,000. That's your bid there provisionally at £9,000. That is £9,000. That is provisionally with you, online bidder. Moving on to lot number 149. There we go. 1963. It's a BSA A10 Super Rocket. Love these choppers. They look great indeed. I'm straight in at just £2,000. We're going 200s on this one, Molly. At 2,000's bid. Say 2-2 if anyone's coming in. At £2,000. Very stylish bike. At just 2,000's bid. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,002. 2.4's bid. At 2004. At 2004, say 2.6 for one more. At 2004 is the bid now at 2004. Would you like to go 2.6 if you're coming back in? At 2004 is the bid. At 2.4, 2.4, 2.4. Are we finishing done here? At 2,400. I'm going to count it down now. At 2,400 once. At 2,000, 2,400 twice. 2.6 is bid, new bidder. At 2006. At 2008 back in. At 2008. At £2,800 is the bid now at 2008. Would you like to go 3 anywhere else? At £2,800 is bid. At 2,000, 2008. Are we finishing done then? Last chance in fair warning this time and away. At 2,800 once. At 2,800 twice. All finished, all done at £2,800. That's provisionally £2,800 and that is 23955. Moving on to lot number 150. This time we got 1974. It's an MGB GT. This one, the nice GT. This is no reserve today. And I've actually got nothing on my book on this one. So who's got £500 to start me off? Nice little no reserver then. £500. Kick it off today. Nice MG. Anyone, £500. Thank you, online bidder. You're in. We'll go in hundreds on this one. We'll have some fun with it. At 500 is the bid. No reserve. Must sell today. Shropshire bidder, you're in. At £500. Say 600 if anyone else wishes to have a go. At 500, 500 with the online bid. At £500, it's going to sell, so make no mistake here. At £500 is the bid now at 5. At 500, 6. At £600 is bid. With you in Hampshire now. At £600, say 7 if you wish to go again. At 600, 600, 600. Are we finishing done at just £600? Make no mistake then, at £600, I'll tell you what, hammers up. At £600 with you online. At 600, 600 once. At 600 twice. 7. Thank you, sir. At £700. You couldn't let it go that cheap, could you? At 700's the bid. 800's back in. At £800 is the bid now at 8. Thank you anyway. At £800 is bid with you online bidder there in Hampshire now. At 800, take 9 if anyone else wishes to come in. At 800, 800, 800. All finished, all done. Last chance. Fair warning then. Hammers up this time and away. Once, twice. Finished and done. And selling with the online bidder at £800. You sure? Sold at £800. Thank you. That's 20463. 20463. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 151, 1956. It's the Austin A35 van. I love these vans. They look very cute indeed. You can get them all sign written out and they can look absolutely great in this day and age. And we're going to go straight in at 4, 4.5, £5,000. At 5,000, we start here at 5,000's bid. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. Would anyone else like another 500? At 5,000 is the bid now at 5. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. Finished and done then. Maiden bid with me on the book. Make no mistake, at £5,000 is here to go. At 5,005, new bidder this time at 5,005. And I'm out already at 5,005. At 5.5 is the bid online. I'll take 5,750 if anyone else wants to jump in now. At £5,000, coming in for the quarter. At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. Take 750 for one more. At £5,000, all finished and done. Last chance in fair warning then is currently online with you at 5,005. At 5,500 is bid. At 5,500 once. At 5,500 twice. Finishing done at £5,500. It's your bid online at 5,500. That is a provisional bid at 5,500. Moving on to lot number 152. 1972 is the Rover P5B. It's the saloon, this one. Another no reserve car in today's sale. Let's get it gone. Who's got the £500 to start? Anyone interested here? £500 to go. Nice looking colour on this one. Surely there's £500 to kick it off today. Who's going to bid in first? Kick it off for me. £500. 200. Go 200, Molly. Thank you, online bidders. 2, 4. There we go. 400 a bid. At 400's in. At 400, 400. Go 6 if you wish to go again. At £400 is bid. At 400, I'll tell you what, go 5. We'll go in hundreds. At 400's the bid. 450, that's fine. At 450, 455. 500's bid. Say 50, keep going online. 550, thank you. Make it nice and quick. We're in £50. We sell today to the nearest £50 note. At 550, you're in online. Norfolk bidder. At 550 is bid. At 550 and 6, thanking you now. West Midlands is in the lead at 600 a bid now. £600 is bid. At 600, 600, 600. Are we sure? Would you like to go again? At £600 is the bid now at 6. Are we finished? Are we done? Last chance in fair warning. Hammers up in the air at 650's back in. A new bidder now. At 650's the bid. At 650, 650, would you like to go 7 anywhere else? At 650, hammers up. At 650 to bid then once. At 650 to bid then twice. All finished, all done. Last chance, fair warning, and it sells this time and away at 650. Sold 650. Thank you. And that was to bidder number 678. Another little update coming through, ladies and gentlemen. The Rolls Royce, lot number 133. Sold. Next one we go to is lot number 153. Lot number 153, 1967. It's the Ford Cortina, Mark II Cortina. This is, you're in online, you're jumping in ambitiously there at 2,000. I got 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, and £4,000. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. At 4,000's the bid. At £4,000. Say 500 for one more. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. At 4,000, would you like to jump back in here? The Mark II Cortina looks great indeed. This one does. At £4,000. At 4,000, 4,000 coming back in for 5. Are we finishing done? Last chance in fair warning then. Make no mistake. It's just 4,000 once. 4,005. And I'm out, believe it or not. At 4,005. It's with you there. Endorse it this time. At 4,005. Say 5,000 if anyone else wishes. I'll tell you what, go for 750, Molly. Would anyone like a quarter buy? If not, I'm going to submit the bid today to the Dorset bidder at 4,005. 250 for one more. If anyone else wants to be in front of that phone call, now's your chance. At 4,500 once. 4,750, someone does. At £4,750 is the bid. At £4,750 bid now at 4,750. At 4,750 is the bid now at 4,750. Underbidder, would you like to go 5? Make it now or never. I'm going to count it down then. At 4,750 is the bid then once. Twice. Finishing done at £5,000 sneaking in under the wire again. At £5,000. Say 250 again. Are we sure online? At 5,000, 5,000. I think there's about 3 of you hovering still. Would anyone like to bid? At £5,000, I'll take 5-1 just to see if anyone's still there, but I'm counting it down now. 5-1 back in, Brighton bidder. Make it nice and quick. Take 5-2 if you wish to go again. At 5,001. At 5-1, 5-1, 5-1. Are we finished and done? At 5,100 is the bid now. At 5,100, the bid then once. At 5,100 twice. All finished, all done. £5,100. Provisionally with you there at 5,100 in Brighton then, and that is 5284. Moving down the list we go. Lot number this time is lot number 154. It's 1950. It's the Vauxhall Velux this time. This one is the 6-lip, beautiful restored car. Looks great indeed. You're starting there at 2. At 2,000's bid. At 2,000, 2,005. 3,000, 3,005 we go. At 3,005. Running on now. At 3,005. Say 4 to come back in. At 3,005 is bid. At 3,000, 3,005. 4 is the bid now at £4,000. 4,500. At 4,005 back to me. At 4,005 on the book here. At 4,005. Say 5,000 if you wish to go again, online bidder. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,005 is bid. At 4,500, are we finished? Are we done? At 4,500, last chance then. At 4,500, once, twice, finished and done on the book with me in 5's bid. And I'm out, believe it or not, online you're in. At 5,000, we'll go 250s now. At £5,000, coming in for the 250. At 5,000, 5,000, online bidders in the lead. At £5,000. At 5,000, would anyone else like to have a go on this one here? At 5,000, I'll count it down. At 5,000 once, at 5,000 twice, all finished and done at £5,000. That's your bid, 739, £5,000. That is provisional. Moving down the list we go. This time, 2003 is the Mercedes-Benz. It's the CLK 500. It's the Kleeman this time. There we go. Nice looking car this is. I'm straight in at just £3,000. And over to Lewis. Sorry, Lewis, I missed that one.
I can't believe you've forgotten about me, Tom. I'm almost hurt. But anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about the car. This is indeed a 2003 Mercedes-Benz CLK 500 Kleeman. Obviously, this started as a CLK 500, built a very nice specification with the AMG styling pack on the alloy wheels. Lovely cream interior with the wood dash. But that's not what makes this car special. What makes this car special was it was, in fact, taken to Kleeman. Now, you may not have heard of Kleeman. Everyone's heard of AMG, obviously linked to Mercedes these days. And most people have heard of Brabus with big, over-the-top upgrades, both in terms of styling and supercharged V8 Mercedes. But Kleeman started in 1985 in Denmark, and they made much more understated modifications for the discerning Mercedes enthusiast. Like with this example, you've got a new exhaust system, there's some tuning to the engine, some Kleeman badges throughout, and the door sills and underneath the bonnet. But overall, it's not as in your face, but it gives you just as much thrill behind the wheel. I can sign off on that. And this one, great history with it as well. 13 service stamps, extensive maintenance history. It's got the original certificate of conformity and the original book pack. So not only is this a great CLK with a great history, it is very, very rare. I mean, I challenge you to try and find another CLK 500 Kleeman for sale at the moment. And if you do, let me know, because I'd love to see it. But this is the one that I can find. This is the one that we have here. And this is the one that we're going to start the bidding on right now. So I'll hand back over to you, Tom.
Thank you. I won't jump the gun this time. We're straight in. 2,000, 2,500, £3,000 we start. At just £3,000, the CLK 500 Kleeman here. At 3,000, 3,000. Say 500 if you're coming in. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,000's bid. 3,500, 4,000. Back to my commission interest now at £4,000. At 4,000's the bid. Say 500 if you're coming back in. At 4,000's bid. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Say 500 for one more. At just £4,000 is the bid now at 4. At 4,000, 4,000. I'll tell you what, I'll take 250s now. Would you like the quarters? At £4,000. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Coming back in for 250 if you wish to go again. At just 4,000's bid. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Last chance in fair warning, finishing done. At 4,250. You're in online and I'm out. At 4,250. At 4,250's bid. At 4,250, 4,250. Would anyone else like to go 4,005? At £4,250 is bid with the online bidder. At 4,005, new bidder this time. Welcome back, Bristol. You're in. At 4,005. At 4,000, 4,500 is bid. Say 750 if you wish to go again. 4,750. Thank you now. At 4,750. Say 5 to go again, Bristol. At £4,750. Currently with you in Cheshire. At 4,750 is bid. At 4,000, 4,750 pounds is the bid now at 4,750. Are we finishing done here? Make no mistake. Cheap little mode to this at just 4,750 the bid then once. At 4,750 the bid then twice. All finished, all done, once, twice, finishing done at 4,750. That's very provisional online. We'll have to make the phone call. We will be in touch with you there. Talking about provisional sales, lot number 110, the Jaguar, the XJ, sold. Now we move on to lot number 156. This time it's 1973. It's the Triumph. It's the TR6. Genuine provenance and impressive attention to detail. It says here, nice looking TR6. This is. I'm going to go straight in at 5, 5.5, 6. At 6,000 bid. At £6,000. Say 6.5 if you're coming in. Lovely little TVR. Just a little TR6. At 6,005 new bidder. 7's back in on the Triumph. At 7,000. At 7,000, go 5 again online if you're coming back in now. At £7,000 is my bidder here. At 7,000, 7,000. Say 500 to go again. At £7,000. At 7,005, you're in and I'm out. Thank you, online bidder. At 7,005, you're in. At 7,005. At 7,000, 7,005 and £8,000. Derbyshire bidder this time. At 8,000's the bid. At 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. On the TR6, at £8,000. Are we finishing done? Would anyone else? I'll tell you what, go 250. Would anyone else like to come in for a small buy? At 8,000's bid. 8,250 you do. 8,500, thanking you. Keep bidding online. At 8,005, say 750 if you wish to go again. At 8,005, 8,500, 8,750, 9,000 there. At 9,000's bid. At 9,000, 9,000. I like the fast bidding in Derbyshire. At £9,000, 250, thanking you. 9,250, 9,500. At 9,005 is bid. At 9,500, 9,500, 9,500. Would you like to go again for one more online? At 9,750 is the bid. And 10,000 now, thanking you there. At 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. At 10,000 is the bid now with you online. At 10,000 still in Derbyshire. At 10,000, 10,000 underbidder. Would you like to go for one more? At 10,250 you do. At 10,250, 10,250, 10,500 bid. At 10,005. At 10,500, 10,500, 10,500, go 750 again. At 10,750, thank you. At 10,750's bid, 11,000 now. At 11,000, 11,000, 11,000, still keep climbing if you will. At 11,250, thanking you online. At 11,250, 11,500, 11,500, a good battle here between two of you. At 11,500, Derbyshire, you're still on top. At 11,500, 11,500, 11,500, 11,500. At 11,500, are we finished and done this time? At 11,500 is bid. At 11,500, 11,500. Yes, 11,750 back in. 12,000, 12,000's bidding slowing up at £12,000. At 12,000, 12,000, would you like to go again? At £12,000, two keen bidders here. At £12,000, at 12,250 now. At 12,250, Devon bidder this time, out of nowhere there. At 12,250's bid. At 12,250, 12,250. At 12,250 is the bid now at 12,250. At 12,250, 12,250. I'm going to do the same as what I usually do. I'm going to say 12,300 and then we'll go in hundreds. We'll get to the nitty gritty here. 12,300's in. Say 12,400 next. At 12,003. At 12,003. Can we have 12,400 next, Molly? At 12,003. We'll go in hundreds now. At 12,003. I'll take 12,400 if anyone else wants to have a go here. At £12,300 is the bid. At 12,300. Are we sure? I'm going to count it down once. At 12,003, Derbyshire bidder twice. At 12,300, finished and done. Last chance, fair warning. 12,300, Derbyshire bidder there, provisionally, but we are close on that one, Derbyshire. £12,300. We will have the sales team be in touch with the vendor and be in touch with you very shortly. And you are 2870. 2870. Thank you very much there to both those bidders online. And moving down the list we go. 1989. It's the Porsche 944. It's the S2 Cabriolet this time. You're in online at 2. I got 2,500 and £3,000. At 3,000's bid. Say 3,500 if you're coming in. At £3,000 is the bid now at 3. At 3,005 and 4,000 back to me. At 4,000, I'll take the 250s from this point there, Molly. At 4,000's bid. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Lovely little Porsche here. At just £4,000 is the bid. At 4,250, you're in and I'm out. At 4,250, online bidder. At 4,250, would anyone else like to come in for 4,005? At 4,250 is the bid now at 4,250. Are we finishing done? At 4,250, the bid's online. Cheap little Porsche this is at just £4,250. Would anyone else? I'll tell you what, we'll do it again. We'll go 4-3. We'll take the 50 now. Anyone like to jump in for a small bite? And then we'll go in hundreds. If not, we're submitting the bid today at 4,250 with the online bidder here. Once at 4,250 twice. Finishing done. Last chance. Fair warning then at £4,250. That's your bid there online at £4,250. That is provisional. Moving on down we go. Lot number 158, 1990 BMW. It's the 320i convertible. I love this one. So much character to it. And I'm straight in at 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, £4,000. At 4,000's bid. Amongst my commission bids here, at just 4,000 we start. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. Go 5 if you're coming in. At 4,000, 4,000, go 4,005. At 4,000's the bid. Would anyone like another 500? At 4,000's bid. Would anyone else like to come in now? At 4,000, if we're finished and done, last chance in fair warning then at just 4,250. Is that 4,250? Thank you. At 4,250's bid. Just press, there you go, thank you. At 4,250's bid with you online. At 4,250's the bid with the online bidder here. At 4,250, would anyone else like 4,500? At 4,250 is bid. At 4,250, 4,250, coming back in for 4,500. Anywhere else? At 4,250 once with the online bidder here. At 4,250 the bid, then 4,500. 4,500's bid. Back in with the West Midlands now at 4,500. Say 4,750 if you wish to go again. At 4,500 is the bid now at 4,500. At 4,500, 4,500, 4,500. Finishing done then, last chance in fair warning. At 4,750. New bidder this time. At £4,750 is the bid. At 4,750, 4,750. At 4,750 the bid then once. At 4,750 the bid then twice. All finished in 5,000s back in just in time. At £5,000. At £5,000 on the charming little free series here at just £5,000. West Midlands bidder, you're in. At 5,000, 5,000. Take 250 if the underbidder wants to come back. Yes, please, they say. I'm not surprised. What a car. At 5,250 here. At 5,250, 5,250. Underbidder, would you like to go again? At 5,250 is the bid here then at 5,250 once. With the online bid then. At 5,250 the bid then twice. All finished. All done. 5,500 sneaking back in. West Midlands is on the late button today. At 5,005. At 5,500 is bid. Say 750 if you're coming back in now. At 5,005. At 5,000, 5,005 is your bid now. I'm counting it down again. At 5,005 once. At 5,500. West Midlands bidder twice. All finished, all done, last chance, fair warning, 5,500. Your bid in the West Midlands, provisionally there at £5,500. And you are to bidder number 2907. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 159, 2004. No reserve today is this Rover 75. It's the classic CDT Tourer there. Look at that. Nice little estate this is. I'm going to go straight in at 200 and 400. At 204's bid. 400's bid. Say 600 next if we can. At 400's the bid now at 4. At 400, 400, 400. At £400 is bid amongst my commission bidders now. Take 5 then. Would anyone like 100? 5. 500 bid. Thank you, sir. At 500, gentleman's bid. I had a commission bid of £465. You're in. At 500, thank you. At 500's bid. At 500, 500, 500. Done me a favor. Last chance in fair warning. I'll take 600 if you're coming back in online or anywhere else. At 500, we're going to count it down. Gentlemen at the front. Last chance in fair warning. Once. At 500, twice. All finished and done at £500. Your bid. Oh, no. Sold. 374. 374. $374. Moving on down, we go to lot number 160. This time is 1981. It's the Morris Mini City. There we go. Nice little charming character again. Such great little cute cars they are. You're in straight away. 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, 1,500. I'll take 1,750 next. At 1,500's bid. 1,750, 1,750. Go 2. At 1,750, £2,000. Kent bidder, you're in. At 2,000, we'll stay in the quarters for you though. Both of you online. At 2,000, make it nice and quick. At 2,250's bid. Say 2,500 for one more. At £2,250 with the online bidder here. Hampshire bidder, you're in. At 2,250, 2,500, 2,500, 2,750. Norfolk bidding all over the country. Hampshire, you're in at £3,000. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,250's bid. Cheshire now at 3,250. Underbidder, would you like to come back in? Or should I say underbidders? Would you like to come back in for 3,500? At 3,250's bid. At 3,250, I tell you what, we'll go 3,300 and then we'll go in hundreds again. At 3,250, would you like a £50 note? There we go, 3,300. Next bid's 3,400 if you're coming in online. At 3,003. At 3,003 with the online bidders here. At 3,003, next bid's 3,400 if anyone else wishes to have a go. At 3,300, are we finished? At 3,300, are we done? Last chance. Fair warning then. Once at 3,300, twice. All finished and done at 3,300 with the Hampshire bidder. Provisionally with you, £3,300. Provisional Hampshire bidder, you were 20463. Moving down the list we go. Lot number 161. Kind of like this as well. This has got a lot of character to it. It's 1991. It's the Dodge B250 Ram van. There we go. Look at that. I'm sure you could kit that out and do a lot of things with this. I'm sure this has great potential indeed. And I'm straight in at £1,000. At 1,000's bid. We'll say 1,200 next. We'll run in the 200s. 1,000's bid. 1,200. 1,400's my bid. At 1,400's bid, say 16 you're in, but I got 18. 1,800 my commission bid. 2,000, I got 2,2. At 2,002, 2,4, I got 2,6. At 2,006, 2,8's in, Hampshire bidder, but I've got 3. At 3,000's bid. 3,2, 3,4, 3,6 is my bid here. Just press floor. If that doesn't give the game away. 3,800, you're in online. Thank you very much. Online bidder Hampshire at 3,800. We're selling today at 3,800. Now the commission bid's out. Would anyone else like to have a go here at £3,800 on the Ram van? At £3,800. At 3,838. Last chance coming back in. I'll tell you what, take 3,900. There's a lot of people hovering. Who would like another £100? Don't dodge this one. Come in for 3,009. At 3,800 once. At 3,800 twice. And selling now at 3,800 it goes. Sold at 3,008. Thank you very much. And that was 20463. 20463. You got yourself a brace online. Thank you very much. Moving on to the last ride home of the day, I believe. Not number 162. 1977 is the MGB Roadster again. Another no reserve car today, Sal. Who's got £500 to start me off? Let's grab a bargain. Who's got £500? Surely. 5's bid. We'll go in hundreds, Molly. At 500's bid. Gloucestershire bidder, you're in. Take it to 6 if anyone else wishes to have a go on the MGB Roadster here at £500. Surely. Go 550 then. There's got to be more than that. 600. Go 50s. Last lot of the day. Let's have some fun. Make your bidding nice and fast. 650's bid. At 650, 650, 650. Norfolk bidder now at 650. Would anyone else like to come in for 7? At 650, the hammer's up. At 650 the bid now 650. At 650 the bid now 650. 7's bid. Thanking you. At 700, would you like to go 50 again? At 700 a bid now 7. At 700 a bid now 700. 700. You coming back in online for one more. It's now or never. At 700 once. At 700 twice. And 50 bid now 750. At 750 the bid now 750. At 750 pounds were bid. At 750, 758. 800 back in now at 8. 800, would you like to go 50 now? At 800 pound a bid now 8. At 800 is your bid online. At 800, 800, 800. I'm going to sell at 800 pounds, 850 bid. Thanking you. At 850 the bid now 850. Would you like to go 9? At 850 pounds is the bid. At 850, 850. At 850 the bid then once. At 850 the bid then twice. All finished, all done, and selling. Online bid at 850. It goes. Sold at £850. Thanking you there, online bidder. £850. 7,678. Let's get me numbers the right way around. It's been a long day of numbers. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is today's sale concluded with. Thank you very much to all the bidders in the room. I know it's been a hot day, but thank you for sticking with it. Online bidders, I hope you had air conditioning. We go again next weekend. We are starting off our week next week, Friday. We've got probably 100 motorbikes being sold. Some great bikes in there, some lovely Ducatis. Have a good look through that catalogue. It looks absolutely amazing. Then we go to Saturday. We got the car sale on Saturday, also up in Runcorn area. We have got some lovely cars going in that already, including a Ferrari 360 as well, I believe. So ladies and gentlemen, check out online, follow us on YouTube. Thank you to everyone who's been watching today, and I will see you all again next weekend.